A very warm welcome to One Hub Racing Season 27. It is the championship finale. We already know who our P2 champion is, but we will soon know by the end of tonight who will be crowned our P1 champion, and it is down to two drivers. One of them is not even here. My name is Jessball, and joining me in the commentary box once again for the final time this season, we have Mr. Mike Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, Jess, and yeah, as you said, one of our championship protagonists not here tonight, which makes the permutations very simple for us, and a big opportunity for Kieran to go ahead and seal the championship at the end in Sao Paulo, where we've seen so many championships decided in the past.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ben unfortunately can't make it tonight, which is a bit unfortunate. He's away in France, which means, like Mike was saying, it is simple. If... Sorry, my throat's gone a bit crazy. If Kieran finishes on the podium, then he'll be crowned champion for Season 27. That's all he needs to do. Finish on the podium. But it's going to be harder for him because of the nature of the track, Mike. There's loads of DRS trains, as both of us found out in our races. It's going to be a nightmare for him, but first of all, he's got to get the job done in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. DRS trains, as you mentioned, can be a bit of a cause for concern. Being stuck behind a car in the middle sector as well can really be a hindrance for him in the race. But it's going to be interesting to see what kind of setup he goes for. Is he going to go for more of a straight line speed one, or is he going to go for more downforce in the middle sector? That'll be the interesting one, Jess.
Yeah, so you can see the stats on your screen for Ben Mills and Kieran. We'll go through the rivalries a little bit later on, but 13 points is the gap. Ben Mills on 151 and Kieran on 138. We're going to see if Kieran could do it. Of course, Marco would have beaten it in the running for the championship if he didn't disconnect last time out in Mexico, and he also has to take a gearbox penalty this evening. So without further ado, let's get in for one final time into this qualifying session, and it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts in the chat on who you think is going to be potentially doing well this evening, as Kieran is setting a good lap time on the doors with a 107.7, and then Marco's like, you know what, I could do better than that with a 107.6. Expect lap times to be very, very competitive due to the fact that it's going to be a very short lap. These things matter because you could be stuck in a DRS train for a long period of time and you can't get past. So Marco and Kieran getting the benchmark sorted as well. And it's not just the drivers, Mike, that is going to be a crucial factor here tonight.
No, absolutely. Constructor is also going to be hotly contested here tonight as well, and I am looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in both of the championships, because right now it is the RBs sitting 11 points ahead of the 9 points ahead of the Williams team. Sorry, I almost miscounted then. And 9 points in it, Jess. It could go either way. And then, of course, you've got McLaren, who are still within a chance. Obviously, 186 points to them. They are 19 points off of the leaders, RB. So it's all up to play for.
It is everything to play for between the front three. Of course, Lukey will need a masterclass for a race tonight in order for him to stand a chance, but he did admit in the pre-race interviews that he was struggling. So I think it's really going to be down to Racing Bulls and McLaren. And of course, we saw last week, Mike, how McLaren's worked very well together, mainly because they didn't have a driver's title to fight for. They could focus solely on the constructors. And I was keeping an eye on the practice sessions. J. Cole has been looking very, very quick, and J. Cole did put the pressure on Kieran during the practice session, and Kieran was making quite a few mistakes. I wonder if it's starting to show the nerves for Kieran with this championship, because yes, P3 and he's done it. Some mistakes could crop in and that could be championship over, but we have a quick inkling of what his approach would take if it was the final few laps and if he was third place. If he was already in a position to win the title, he wouldn't go for silly moves. He would definitely play it safe, but you can't afford to make any mistakes tonight, as we saw in practice. He's got to keep it calm and collected. He's had a few hours since practice just to get his mind back into gear. Hopefully he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the good thing is he's isolated those mistakes in practice. That is a good thing. And all he's got to do now is just take a breather and then just get your mind into the race. Forget about the mistakes in practice, because if he does dwell on them, they will end up reappearing here and they could cost him a championship.
Arnold sitting on P2 at the moment in the standings in qualifying with a very competitive lap time. I would expect, Mike, quite a lot of drivers to get quite a lot of laps in today, and we even saw at the final end of P3, we saw people maybe go for multiple laps on the same tyre. And here is Mr. Nick Egan, soon to have a baby boy in his midst. The due date is, I was trying to remember the due date, 11th of November, but it could come any time now. So if Nick suddenly retires, we all know why, because he did say it could just pop any minute. So we wish, obviously, him and himself the best of luck. Of course, we had quite a few other babies in one hub. Obviously, Jack Craig had his recently. Kinney has recently given birth as well. Well, his partner has given birth to a baby boy. And then we had Zontor that's had a baby girl. So very special moments here at One Hub Racing. And Nick needs a good result, because yes, he might be commentating with us next season. He's definitely not going to be racing, and he definitely wants to end this season on a high. He comes across the line now to finish his lap, the number 94 on his car. What's going to be his first lap time, a 108.008, and that puts him into P6 just behind his teammate.
Yeah, good lap there from Nick, and I'm not going to lie, I really want Nick to take a win here tonight, to obviously to go out on a very high. I really want him to take a win, so I'm rooting for Nick. My head's saying that he's not going to win, but my heart is saying he will.
Well, anything could happen, and Nick was quite surprised actually with the strategies that were shown in P3 and P2, and he thinks he could do a different strategy. I'm not going to reveal too much, just in case the P1 drivers are listening, so I don't want to give too much clues. But Chris goes up to the line now. He's in 40th at the moment. Of course, Axelot has had a massive surgery at the middle of this week, which means he can't race. I wish him a swift recovery, which means Chris is the sole point scorer for Aston Martin. Marco goes into P1, but what can our championship contender do? He comes across the line. Is it going to be good enough for pole position here tonight? The answer to that is no. He only sits second fastest is the RB. His teammate Casper comes across the line to just start his lap. Casper really needs to play the team game tonight. He can't afford to retire, because otherwise we would be looking at previous races where he just retired the car, and that would have cost him his lap time. Casper is going to get a tow from his teammate in towards turn 4, or only slightly get a tow from his teammate. But yeah, Kieran's going to be concentrating on the drivers. That's what he's going to do, which means it'll be up to Casper to play the team game.
Yeah, and you're seeing right now, obviously, the McLaren's Callum popping up into P2. We got J. Cole on a fast lap as well. He's 2 tenths up in the middle sector. So this could be there or thereabouts. So J. Cole, as he comes to the line, and it's going to be a 0.6, puts him right behind Kieran. So Kieran right now, he's in the Drivers' Championship fight. He's in the Constructors' Championship fight. And he's sandwiched between 2 of his Constructors' Championship challenges.
Yeah, that's not what he wants at the moment, but again, he still has 2 more laps to absolutely get it right. But what could his teammate Casper Klein do in the RB? He's not had the best of seasons. He wants to end it on a high. He goes at 6th fastest, so he improves on time, not position. Not the best lap time he would have wanted. He would want to climb up way up the order. Curry has not had the best of seasons either. He makes his way towards turn 1, of course. The Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache has hosted many title deciders in the past, including the infamous 2008 title decider where we had the Is That Glock moment. I wonder if we're going to get something similar this evening where Kieran is 4th heading towards Jung Sao and someone makes a mistake and then he ends up P3 and he wins the title. Strange things have happened, but it was a shame we didn't get a Grand Slam finish in P2. We would have loved to see the title fight go down to the wire in P2, but I wonder if we're going to see it in P1, and we have to wait and see. Of course, Ben Mills and Kieran have definitely given themselves some interesting sayings in the rivalries, which we'll go to in just a second. Here comes Corridor, heading toward the final few corners of Jun Sao.
Yep, as he climbs up the hill now. Nothing to do but put your foot to the floor. And I think Ben Mills, I mean, for the time being, he's going to have his feet up a la Fernando Alonso from about a decade ago. As Curry, 4 tenths improvement there, up to P9, 108 flat for him. a good lap time there from Curry. You'll be looking for more in the closing stages, but a good lap time there from Curry.
Yeah, that is very solid as well. Of course, we only have 14 drivers, but it shows that they're all committed, ready to see this one through. Of course, there's plenty of positions elsewhere in the Drivers' Championship to decide as well. As Arnold's had a very good lap time and slots himself in at 2P5. Nick is on a lap. We got quite a few drivers on laps at the moment. Alex, of course, taking one of his car wear penalties. He has not got his day to a great start. He hasn't set a lap yet, and he has not set a lap again. He has, unfortunately, invalidated his run. He's had some very stellar performances, and of course he joined mid-season, and imagine if he joined at the start of the season, maybe he could have been fine for the championship as well, Alex. But watch out for Alex next season, down in P14 at the moment in qualifying, but there's plenty of other drivers that could spoil the party here this evening. Alex, I won't be surprised if he goes into the pits to try and see if he can get 2 more laps in.
That's going to be the thing next. There's several drivers that will be Ben Mills' best friend here tonight. Obviously, Marco, Callum and J. Cole, Alex being the ones that jump out immediately, isn't he? So we got Nick coming to the line now. He's been improving on his lap. Comes to the line now, the Scuderia Ferrari, up to P6,
nice.
Just ahead of Casper.
That is a solid lap from Nick, and we just saw Arnold. Wow! So on a scrub set of the soft tyres, he sorted himself into P2. We saw J.R. Mason, didn't we, Mike, in P3 do exactly the same, but that's because he invalidated. But Arnold chose to go on softs. As he did one lap and then did another lap again. So Arnold, that is pretty good. I wonder if we're going to see multiple drivers do the same now, because that has really upped him. And he's not that far behind Marco. Game on, I would say.
Absolutely not. And Collie, I just jumped on board with him, and he was 4 tenths up in the middle sector. He carried that 4 tenths up to P6. And what this is doing is putting more cars between Kieran and his only ally here tonight in Casper.
Yeah, that's not going to help Kieran at all, unfortunately. Casper will need to get a move on, but he's on his out lap at the moment. Kieran going towards the end of sector 2. He's purple sector 2, but the exit of that the start of the final sector looked horrendous for Kieran. So he's going to need a miracle of a straight line car in order to climb his way up even more. Kieran goes up to the line. Is it going to be good enough for pole? Nope, he goes in 4th, and I wanted that mistake in the exit of the penultimate corner really costed him that time. He gets to go again very soon. Anyone else on laps? Casper, his teammate, is on a lap, and J-Co as well. Very crucial for those 2 drivers to get up there. I've asked for your prediction in the poll for chat. I still think Marco could be up there, or maybe even J-Co. We don't know. These are really quick drivers on this grid. We even though there's a lot of drivers not here tonight, we are left with one of the quickest drivers in one hub, and I can't wait to see how that's gonna fare at the moment. J-Co goes up to the line. We've got his teammate on a lap 2, but what could J-Co do? Could it be good enough for pole? Yes, he can. 107.420, exactly 2 tenths quicker than his previous best. J-Co has lightened the gauntlet and said, beat that.
Yeah, and that is huge in terms of the constructors as well. And Kieran is probably looking at this now, seeing the cars in front of him, knowing that
he's in trouble.
Even though, yeah, he's in trouble, and Ben Mills is probably sitting there watching this, exactly doing a Fernando Alonso right now. Deck chair out, feet up.
Yeah. Even though he's away, he did say he'll be watching the stream. So, Ben, if you're watching, hello. He is probably going to be quite a nervous wreck at the moment. And, for some reason, something wanted to do an update on my computer, which is why my screen went there. But there we go, we're back as Casper goes into the pit lane. Who else on a lap? Colin's on a lap. That is interesting, Mike.
Yeah, 10th up in the first sector, so right now that'll be enough to get him ahead of Casper, which is more woes for the RB team. But Colin, let's see if he's able to hold it now for the middle sector. Very technical, and obviously the undulation of the corner, so the inclines going up and down, can really make the car snap out. If you just snatch at the throttle a little bit too quickly, you can light up the rears. But Colin keeping it all in check right now. Middle sector split coming up.
Here he goes then. He's marching up just a little bit, but with how close his grid is, He could climb his way up the field if he's marginally up. He's got to burn all that battery that he has up to the line. Takes the shortest run possible. What's it going to be for the Welshman? 9th place. Improves on time and not position, and that's going to be his qualifying done. He's going to be absolutely disappointed because his main goal is P5, and he's not going to aim for that. Nick, though, is on a lap. He's going to probably do what we saw Arnaud do earlier on in the session. He's going to do 1 lap, then do a push lap at the end.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Colin is going to back off and go again for another lap. He seems to have the fuel for it. Right now, so we'll have to wait and see as Nick is about to begin his flying lap now to get his final run underway as he crosses the line to head into the center SHS.
Yeah, I'm seeing he's not using his battery at all, Mike. So yeah, he's gonna basically use it to the banker lap and then go again on the next lap. So ignore Nick for the time being. He's technically on out lap at the moment. I wonder if Chris is gonna do the same thing. No, Chris is actually burning his battery right now in the Aston Martin. So we'll see if he can climb his way up the order. Currently in 12th place, and of course top 12 score points. You don't want to be in that bubble as that is only 5/100ths better. He got held up quite a bit by one of the RBs. I just wanted to see who that was. That was Casper, I believe. So yeah, that is not what he wanted at all. But it's the calm before the storm, and there we go. And someone's saying in the chat, with Atslot not being here, Atslot, get better soon, mate. No, Ben Mills and how close the top guys are. Yeah, separated. I'll get the gaps up for you, Mr. Edwards. Almost a tenth separating the top 5. It's incredible.
Chris up by a 10, so it's going to get even closer now in top 12 battle. As Chris now to the line. What's this going to be for the Aston Martin as he has a little bit of a long range tow, but shouldn't affect too much, and he improves marginally and he goes up into P11.
And marginally, that's what could get you points in at this league. So we've got 15 seconds to go and people are on runs right now. I believe one of the Williams of Lukey will be the first lot of drivers to come across the line, or will it be one of the McLarens? I'm just trying to see. It's Jaco will be the first across the line, or Alex. Actually, no, it will be Alex. There's loads of people on laps, for goodness sake. So let's watch Alex. Colin, that's his lap done. What can Alex do in the Haas? It's going to be pole for Alex. Could Jaco have something to say? I don't think so, because he's almost a tenth down in the middle sector. So that's going to be an absolute miracle that he needs to get a pole at 107.5. He doesn't improve on his time at all here. We got Lukey, who's on a lap. Where is he? There he is. Lukey is on a lap. He slots himself into 13th. Then we got Callum Unarmed. He goes up to the line as well as Nick. Callum Unarmed goes second. Barton, he was purple in the final sector. Marco goes second. And what can our championship contender Kieran do? He's half a tenth down also. So I don't think Kieran is going to do enough to get pole. He's in the danger zone at the moment, and he's only 6th, Mike. 6th fastest, and I don't think anybody else is going to improve. Let's just keep an eye on colleague. No, Arnold. Last time race winner here in the P1 tier around Brazil, goes 3rd fastest. He loves this track and he's definitely showing it. And Kieran in 6th at the moment. If it stays like this in the race, he won't have done enough to clinch the Drivers' Championship. It will go the way of Ben Mills as it stands.
Yeah, that is best case scenario for Ben Mills. Worst case scenario for Kieran now, where they line up on the grid. But I'll let you run for us for the order, Jess.
Here we go then, there's your order. Alex, who only I think set 1 lap in his qualifying session, is on pole position with Marco in P2, Arnold 3rd, separated by less than a tenth of a second. Then we got Callum Jaco, not that far behind. Kieran, Collie, then we got the 2 Ferraris of Nick and Colin. Then we got Casper, not where he wanted to be. Chris, Curry, Lukey, and the Waitsy complete your order. And don't forget, Mike, we still got stewarding penalties to pretty much look at here this evening. No, not stewarding penalties, car wear penalties. You can tell there's a lot going on. Now, I'm going to be going through the Demolition Derby. We don't usually do this, Mike, but it is the final race. I've told people in P1 to go full guns blazing here today with the crashes. So as soon as we go 5 red lights, we're going to see the Demolition Derby, Mike. But for Ben Mills, best case scenario. But what a qualifying for the likes of Marco, Callum Unarmed, lots of drivers who we would expect to be up there going in the top. Arnold was my biggest good surprise, I think.
Yeah, Arnold, a fantastic lap from him. Obviously, Marco, as you said, what could have been if he did not disconnect last time out. And it definitely could have been a nice battle with Marco, Ben, and Kieran if that didn't happen to him. But
Here
obviously,
we go.
McLaren's...
Demolition Derby is a go here, one-up racing. This is what you never get to see in the B1 tier because we all have these lovely overlays. And, oh, wow.
Marco sold in the dummy.
Yeah, they sold it. And Cal got a drive-through. There we go. Kieran is stuck. Oh, my God. So, yeah, that is what a Demolition Derby looks, people. Apologies, the camera angles look awful, but... you didn't even see it because I had the wrong thing yet again. But at least you got to see my reaction, but I had the wrong scene yet again. Apologies, everybody. Apologies.
I mean, a quick rundown. We saw Marco absolutely sell Alex, the dummy of dreams, in towards turn 1.
Yeah, that was pretty good, to be fair. That was pretty good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jacob. My stream deck decided to have a dummy, literally. Oh my god. Oh my god. But I am gonna keep an eye on it for the main race. I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry. I please forgive me. Only joking. So we're gonna go to the main race action very soon as Lukey set up the grid for the main race action. But we have got to talk about the rivalries, Mike, because the press team have been very, very busy in terms of Ben and Kieran. They wanted to get the pressure. They wanted to rust up the feathers a little bit between those two. So I'm going to get the rivalries up on my screen. So here we go. I'm just going to try and find it. So they were asked, this is an interesting one. Kieran, you have a great opportunity here to snatch the driver's title from Ben. The gap is currently 13 points. Are you confident you have the pace legend all to win and the last race and secure the title? Kieran said it will be difficult. I know there's a lot on the line here, not just on the drivers, but also the constructors. So my performance is absolutely crucial to win at least one or both. If I come out of tonight with nothing, I'll be distraught. But going by my pace in practice, I think I can get on the podium. But this grid is so quick, I'm sure there will always be surprise drivers who will get a good result. And then Ben Mills has responded to that, and his question was, but we be hoping for a Kieran disaster in the last race, surely, so you can take home the title. Ben says, I'll be keeping a close eye on the stream and we'll see if Kieran can handle the pressure. Should be an easy podium for him. I don't think so after that qualifying session. And I know he's desperately wanted to win a championship for ages. Shame he might only do it because I missed 3 races. Yeah, that's true. Ben Mills had missed 3 races. If he didn't miss those 3 races, Mike, honestly, no offense, I think he would have won that title quite comfortably like last week. So it just shows that if you miss races, it could cost you a little bit. But yeah, Kieran seems to be a bit nervous.
Yeah, the pressure definitely mounting for Kieran, because like not only is he in position for the drivers, he's also one half of the team that is in position for the constructors as well. And the RB lineup now for this season has been fantastic, but you've been beginning to see in the past couple of races, you know, the pressure may be starting to get as they try to prioritize the drivers championship over the constructors. And now it's mounted up here tonight where you've got McLaren breathing down RB's neck going into tonight for the constructors, and Kieran now with all the pressure in the world on his shoulders as he has to contend with not only both McLarens trying to go for the constructors, but also Marco to try and end his season.
Arnold.
Alex, Arnold. There's so many drivers that can really take it to Kieran here tonight and could be the saving grace for Ben, but also could be the biggest nightmare for Kieran.
Yeah, I think that's a beauty of a situation here. You would have so many drivers that are so quick that can steal Kieran's thunder. And we had that in P2 as well. Shane Papa got that 10-second penalty because he would have been up there as well. But this is a very stacked grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix. What's going to be in happening in terms of the strategies tonight, Mike. We've seen in both tiers, all 3 tyres are being used. We've seen people think, right, the 2 mediums would work. Some people think 2 hards would work. Some people think a medium and a hard would work. It's just so up in the air right now. It's going to be one of those races where each tyre could be used, and it depends on your tyre management and also if you prefer that tyre. We've seen drivers like Nick, who has very good tyre management. He could do 2 mediums if he wants to. I don't think he would, but he could potentially do 2 mediums. Whereas there's some drivers that are too aggressive on their tyres and may have to be forced onto a hard strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just that, Jess. That's also bringing to the fact that the undercut is powerful. Like, do we potentially see anyone go for the all dry compound strategy and a set of softs, set of mediums, and a set of hards? Like, could we see someone going for that particular strategy to go for the undercut and try and get a nice bit of fresh air to push into? I mean, you just don't know around here.
Yeah, we don't know at all, and I'm seeing a lot of banter in the chat, Mike, with the P1 drivers. J-Car saying, let me win for ERT, please. To be fair, there is a lot of ERT drivers in the top 5, which should make things interesting. And don't forget, there's still plenty of Drivers' Championships positions to be decided as well. And Ben Mills is already getting a bit of spice on Kieran. Kieran's a bit nervous enough, and then Ben Mills is just adding a bit more spice in between it.
Yeah, I mean, if Kieran's watching the stream right now and he's clocked what Ben has put in the chat, that's just gonna play the mental mind games and that. Like, Kieran, if he's watching the stream in between his break and he's seeing what's called Ben putting the pressure on, and he lets that get into his head. He saw it in the chat. Kieran's gonna be done if he lets that get into his head.
Okay, for one final time, Mike, Lukey has been given the call to ready up. This is it. After months of fighting, we are down to the final race. The constructors could still be decided. The drivers still yet to be decided. Who will be constructors champions? Will it be the McLarens? Will it be the Williams, or will it be the Racing Bulls? My money, if both McLarens get it together, I think McLarens could be up there. But Racing Bulls are definitely going to give the McLarens a run for their money here this evening. Let us know your thoughts in the chat on who you think is going to be crowned champion. And we do have our championship leader in the chat that's going to keep a close eye on proceedings. He's definitely on his deck chair in France at the moment. So I hope you're doing well, Ben. I have to say, Ben has pulled off a very great season. No matter who wins the title, it'll be thoroughly deserved. But I'm going to get my predictions right here and now, Mike. I don't think Kieran will do enough just because of his qualifying position. I'm almost certain that Ben will just about do enough to clinch the Season 27 Drivers' title. What's your prediction, Mike Edwards?
I have to agree. I think that qualifying has absolutely put Kieran on the back foot, and honestly, like, my top 3 now for this race, honestly, J. Cole for the win. I'm gonna go Marco second and Karaman P3.
That is your prediction. Okay, so I think my prediction, you can see the gameplay. There we go. I'm gonna be bold. J. Cole, I think, is gonna win. Marco second, Callum third, and I think Kieran will just miss out by a few points. He'll be 4th place. He's going to kill me, but I think that is what's going to happen. Ben thinks himself is going to win the title. I love that confidence, Ben. But yeah, Ben knows that he can't do anything right now, and you're just going to have a little bit of fun watching it at the moment. And you can just see a quick glance of the Ferrari's tyres. So Ferrari drivers, if you're watching, they picked you this week, but we're not going to say on stream because I know quite a few people are listening in, of course. But anyway, this is going to be interesting. Of course, we see multiple drivers start on the hards, and we've seen in the P3 tier it worked, but again, we had a late safety car. In my opinion, the hards are not the best tyres to start on. You would want to be starting on the softs or the mediums. You can make both strategies work by starting on either tyre. Starting on the hards is not the way to go, unless you're at the back and just wanting to just stay put for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, starting on the hard compound tyres, if you're just trying to keep your nose clean and that, it's a good tyre to be on. But obviously, in terms of the pace and the fact that the undercut around you is very powerful, uh, you do not want to be on the hardest tire to begin with. Honestly, if I'm some of these drivers, I'm more leaning towards a medium set of compound tires, or maybe risking it on the set of softs. Be quick at the start, go for the undercut, and then try and run your race from there.
Yeah, I think it is going to be interesting to see what strategies are going to be played today. But we get a safety car in P3. We got one towards the end. P2, we didn't get one at all. I cheekily extended my hard stint, hoping there was going to be a safety car, and we didn't get one. I think we only had one safety car in our tier, didn't we, Mike? I think we had one in Canada, and that was it. We had VSCs, yes, but we hardly had any safety cars. So the same goes for the P1 tier as well. We've hardly had any safety cars in the P1 tier. And before we go, let's have a quick one of our sponsors. We got, of course, Next Level Racing now providing prizes. We've got Vespertine now supporting our merch and championship apparel. We've also got sim racing setups where you could get discounts by using the code OneHubRacing for all setups. But without further ado, let's go to the other sponsor in a minute. We are about to get underway for 5 red lights for the one final time, and it is action here at Brazil. Let's see who gets a good start. Arnold gets a good start towards turn 1, but so does Callum on arms. Both the McLeods are working like clockwork at the moment, and there's a lot of ghosting going on, so there might be a bit of desync. Hopefully that sorts itself out very, very soon. But we got Callum for Jaco from Arnold, and hang on, the order's completely changed. It's desync. There's an absolute nightmare to get control. So it's Jacob from Arnold. Contact at the back, and I think Callum got caught in
Collie
it.
and Alex. No, Callum managed to just make it through okay, but Collie, Alex, and Lukey got tangled up with each other. All three went around. They all fortunately just ghosted in front of Callum. But I think he got yellow flags to last someone through, which is why he's dropped back behind waiting.
There's a lot of ghosting, actually. I think there was a lot of people that got caught out, actually. But I'm surprised that we're not seeing a even split on tyres. Apart from the odd hard strategy from Colin and the soft strategy from Chris and Racy, everyone else has gone for the mediums. I thought we would have seen a split medium-soft strategy, but no. Most people are opted to start on the mediums. And guess what? All this kerfuffle has allowed Kieran to be in championship position. He is in third at the moment. Jake Arnard had a great start. Marco and Nick up the inside. The one person who's had a good start is Nick. He's in a prime position. Both Ferraris had a good start, actually. And this has really, really helped them. Side by side goes Nick and Colin. They're final races teammates, but they're definitely going to give them a very good go. Apologies about the start, by the way. It was hard to cover because of so much desync, but I think we're sorted now. Nick up to 5th. Colin down into 6th position. And this is going to be interesting now. It's really going to be about how these 4 play ball. Marco could be the one that spoils this, but Kieran has just got to keep calm under pressure. He is where he needs to be at the moment, but he's got to not make mistakes and not slide.
Yeah, that is going to be key now for Kieran. He's just got to keep his calm, keep his composure. He's in position right now. He does have Marco in behind him, who is looking to end the season on a high. And you'll have to be wary of that, but he's got to remember it's a long race. It's a very long race, and the last thing you want is to lose your head right at the start and then play catch up for the remainder.
Definitely not. You do not want to lose your head. We've already seen some great fastest laps already from a lot of our drivers. Callum making his way up quite considerably, but he's going to be starting a DRS trade. Most people are in a DRS trade. Arno looking very good. He's running low wings, it looks like, compared to Jaco. He's going to try and go to get the run in towards turn 4 to see the Largo. Can he get the switchback of dreams here? No, he cannot. But meanwhile, Callum and Arnold and Callum are going for it. Callum and Arnold has had a bit of a knock. This is huge for the constructors right now. They don't want one McLaren leading and one driver out of the points. No, that's going to give the constructors to Racing Bull's hands.
Yeah, what's called side by side with Chris coming into turn 4 right there. Under braking, I think Callum might have just nipped a little bit of the grass, and his car just completely went out of control and nipping a bit of the grass on entry. And yeah, heartbreak for Callum. He's going to have a lot of work to do now to come back through.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. So I think as it stands, it will go down to Racing Bulls. I think I'm not going to be able to do the maths until the end of the stream, unfortunately. But Arnold gets the lead from J. Cole. The front three are running away with it. This is crucial. Kieran down the inside in towards turn one. J. Cole making a mistake, and Kieran is like, thank you very much. That's my P2 there. And Kieran has to make moves like that in order to climb positions in this race, and he has definitely done it. He took advantage of J. Cole's mistake. He went a little bit too deep, it seems, J. Cole.
Yeah, I think he just got a little bit caught out in that under braking. Just goes a little bit too deep. It opens the door for Kieran, and Kieran says, thank you very much, I'll take that position. And now I'm at the front, well, the lead car with DRS. So, I mean, he sat in prime position right behind Arnold now.
Yeah, Arnold in P1, I have to say, of course, he was the last race winner around here. He knows how to win races around here, and he's got used to this game quite considerably at this moment in time, and he's got a 5-10 gap between himself and Kieran, but Arnold's going to have no DRS. What Arnold needs to do is to make sure Kieran doesn't have a sniff. He's got to pull that gap. We're going to see the ERS usage very, very soon, but this is going to be interesting. The adaptive weather system is going to be dry all the way through, so we are going to see them made the right stuff in terms of pace. Kieran's caught up a little bit in towards T1. Bearing in mind there'll be certain drivers that won't be using much ERS at these early stages of the race in order to conserve tyre life, because otherwise those mediums won't last at all. In some places, if Kieran's a little bit further away from J. Cole, Kieran could save some ERS and be able to close in towards the end of the medium stint, but J. Cole's definitely going to get one for money. Look at Marco though. Marco's looking very quick on J. Cole. I have to say, I'm impressed with the whole of the top 8 right now. They have definitely got the pace to be winning this race at the moment. Casper's up there. Yes, there was a bit of a palaver in lap 1, but we're going to ignore that. But they're all giving it their everything, and they're showing consistent pace at the moment. It's going to come down to who's made of the right stuff and can go for bold moves like we saw with Kieran. Kieran had to go for that bold move because otherwise Marco would have potentially got J. Cole as well.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, you got two very quick drivers down towards the back in Alex and Callum going to try to come through. So there's going to be a lot of gaps in the midfield. I think are going to begin to form once those two start trying to make the moves on the cars in front.
Yeah, and don't forget, Alex had a very good qualifying, and he didn't have a good start. And he's down in, well, don't forget he's got a gearbox penalty, which is why he's further down on the grid. But he is where he is at the moment, and he would want to climb a few more positions than that. Kieran goes around the outside into seeing the logo. Can he make the move stick? No, he could not. Arnold is putting the foot down on Kieran right now, and Arnold's saying, no, thank you, you're not having that position. If it was towards the end of the race, I don't think Kieran will be fighting this hard. But since we've got a long part of this race still to go, he is definitely getting the hammer down right now, but he can't afford to slide. If he pushes too much too quickly, that's where he's going to slide, and that's where J. Cole and Marco are going to take advantage right now. So Kieran has got to find the time to save a bit on the lap as well. He seems to me that he's pushing quite a bit too quickly. I'm keeping an eye on his battery. He is saving a bit of VRS, so he is following my lessons, thank goodness. He's saving a bit when he doesn't need to. But look at the straight line speed on Kieran. He's going to try and get the lead from Arnold in towards turn 1 into the outside line. Becomes the inside line in towards the centre S's. He takes the lead, but I think Arnold's going to challenge him through in towards turn 3 and 4, Mike.
Yeah, Arnold just sitting in behind now. He's on his ERS with DRS now coming down into the Lago. Oh.
Curry's had enough. He's dropped down into 12, but Kieran defending for his life bid towards turn 4, put the car in the right places. But look at this, Arnold's got a good running towards turn 6.
Yeah, and if we can get a good run now through the double right-hander, you can maybe have a look down the inside into this tight right-hander here, but not able to get the speed he would have wanted. But Arnold is sitting in prime position just to take that position back with DRS on the next straight.
Of course, Arnold's teammate Senna is not here this evening, so he's going to try and score some points that he needs for Alpine. I would try and do the maths for the constructors, but I'm on PC at the moment, so I'm not able to switch screens. But I think as it stands, tight, it'll be RB. It'll be RB that will be constructors champions. Because, of course, we've got McLaren in third. McLaren will need to outscore Racing Bulls by quite some way. Arnold go to the inside and towards T1. Nicely done. I think if I was Kieran right now, DRS off Arnold. Don't worry about J. Cole this time. Work together with Arnaud to try and DRS off each other to make sure J. Cole does not have a sniff, because that's when you're going to gain that advantage on J. Cole. That's what Kieran and Arnaud are doing right now. Very smart. Arnaud's made a mistake through turn 5. He got a bit terrible happy. Now in towards turn 6, J. Cole saying thank you very much, and now J. Cole's going to chase after Kieran. Arnaud, it seems to me it's the opposite of what we saw in the practice sessions. Kieran's not making a mistake, but his rivals are.
Yeah, but now, I mean, Kieran has J. Cole right behind him. And this is, again, it's another crucial one in terms of the constructors. Obviously, I don't believe at this moment in time, even if J. Cole was to finish ahead of Kieran, it would make much difference in terms of the constructors. They need Callum and Armed quite some way up there. But if J. Cole can keep the pressure on Kieran, maybe he can try and force him into some of those mistakes.
He could out Callum as well, close up. That could be very important. And I do remember, like, they played the team game, and J. Cole, I thought he was going to go for the move there, but crucially, he wanted to stay behind Kieran. And we're seeing our first pit stops, Mike. Chris, understandably, pitting off his softs and going on to a set. I don't know what he's decided to go on, so we have to wait and see. Curry goes quite early on the set of the memes. I thought people would have pitted at the end of lap 10 or lap 9, but Curry goes on to a set of the hard compounder tyres. Now, people were wondering why the hards may be the best option. I found it pretty decent in my race, and I think so did you, Mike, but there's certain drivers that don't like it at all. It comes down to personal preference and setup, really, on if you like the mediums or the hards at all. And it's about tyre preservation and management. You've got to be not too aggressive on the steering, apart from obviously the S's where you have to flick a little bit. But for most of the track, you can't be too aggressive, otherwise your tyres will go.
Yeah, it's just all about finding that rhythm, and where you just got nice rhythm, especially in that middle sector where you're not wrenching at the wheel or wrenching at your analog stick a bit too much, and putting unnecessarily weight on those tyres.
Yeah, we're going to see then J. Cole is going to be on the attack to try and go for the lead. We've got some pitters of Marco and Colin. They go in onto a set. I think Colin's going to go onto the hards, but what can Marco do? Is he going to go onto another set of mediums? I know our championship contenders might do that, but let's watch J. Cole. He's looking really good in towards turn 4 now. Is he going to go for the lunge that he was looking for? No, Kieran shuts the door. J. Cole is playing it safer at the moment. All that's allowing is Arnaud to close right through. The top 3 are on a league of their own right now. Nick had no DRS, but now he does. And Casper's now in this fight as well. As we got Collie, who just got past Alex. We just missed that, but a great move from them as well. Surely the front 3, or even the front 5, have got to respond to Marco, because otherwise they're going to lose so much time as Marco does go on hard.
Yeah, I think for this lap, it's the perfect time for them to come into the pits and respond to Marco, because Marco needs to warm up those tyres. So it's going to take them a lap or two just to get them up to temperatures, up to speed, and then into a good rhythm. But these guys need to respond now.
Yeah, everyone has got to respond now, to be honest. And Kieran does not, J. Cole does not, Arnaud does. Arnaud's playing it smart out of it. Oh no, Arnaud! The favourite for the race win has sped in the pit lane. Now that's going to be crucial. We've seen in all 3 tiers tonight how it could ruin people's races. But do not give up. Remember, P3 tier, we saw Quinn get a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And guess what? He didn't give up. Safety car came out. He won the race. So just because you get a 10-second penalty, that doesn't mean your race is over. Don't give up. We saw that in P3. Plenty of drivers not give up and then get a very good result, which was crucial for either their races or, in some cases, their position in the championship.
Well, I tell you what now, Jess, something interesting I've just noticed is that neither of the RBs have come into the pit shed. Obviously, Callum has come in for McLaren. I think Casper's going to be hung out to dry by you.
Or maybe stretching out those mediums to do medium softs, potentially. But the softs don't make, well, these drivers can make softs last forever. I can't, but these drivers can, so I won't be surprised if they've done so. The top 2 understandably come in. Alex has got to come in as well. Yes, he does. So the front 4, apart from Casper, come into the pit lane. And luckily, none of them speed into the pit lane. I could see what Casper's going to do here. Casper's going to do what we saw Jamie do. As, J. Cole's on softs. Well, we saw that last week, Mike, and that worked to perfection. So I'm not surprised that J. Cole has done this. This could be a very strategic move for J. Cole. I'm not surprised that he's done this, to be fair, as Kira's made a mistake coming out of the pit lane.
And he's going to drop behind Nick. So, I mean, Kieran, from being in prime position to
he's not in prime position now.
He's no longer there.
I swear, Mike, there's going to be switches of positions like a drop of a hat at the moment. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to come down to one mistake, and maybe that mistake could have cost him. But don't forget, Arnold does have the penalty. So as it stands, Marco, that undercut's worked brilliantly. He's leading by 1.7 seconds. Then J. Cole gets past Arnold. What a brilliant move there. He's got to make those softs last for a bit longer.
I think Arnold just gave that up. He just completely let J. Cole through.
That is, I think because Arnold's got that penalty. He doesn't want to hold J. Cole up because he's on a softer tyre. I thought I would have fought him, to be honest, because we've seen the ERT banter in the P1 chat. We thought Arnold would have held J. Cole up, but no. Playing a team game. Casper comes in. He's also on softs. Oh, interesting. Is this gonna be interesting? Where is Casper and Callum on all this? Callum just about gets ahead, but he's gonna come close out the pit exit. Alex is right on the inside. Casper to the outside. Casper is up behind them. That is frustrating, but he could try and get him into turn 6 like we saw J. Cole do. This is some great racing between all of them. This is going to be very, very exciting. In towards turn 7 now, the trickiest corner on the circuit. Casper's got a set. Oh, that was a slide. He's got to remember that the tyres are not operating at the best window. They're still cold. He can't be too aggressive too early. Wait for next lap, Casper.
Yeah, he just tried to stick his nose on the inside of Alex and a little bit of contact. Fortunately for both of them, nothing major happened out of it. Just a little bit of time lost, but yeah, Casper really trying to get past Alex as soon as possible on those soft tyres.
More 10-second penalties, Mike, and that was for Collie. But I wonder if some of those could get removed if they were borderline missing out like we saw with yours, Mike, as Collie's going on mediums. I'm liking this Brazilian Grand Prix so far. Just like we saw in P3 and P2, we're seeing multiple different strategies right now. And it makes us think, right, which one of them is going to do well? Yes, J. Cole's on softs, but he's not closing in on Marco, which strongly suggests that Marco's pace on the hards is quite incredible. He is putting up a great fight. Arnold as well. He's not that far behind J. Cole either. Colin as well. So maybe, yes, it was right in Mexico, going on a softer tyre, but around here, I just don't think it's going to work potentially unless J. Cole could get into DRS very quickly, because Arnold is within DRS of J. Cole still. He's putting up a fair fight. Well, he has to, because he's got that 10 seconds.
Yeah, and I just done a little bit of maths right there, Jess. Right now, McLaren are outscoring RB by 8 points in total. So I believe the fastest lap of the race is currently held by Kieran, who's about to make a move on Colin. So up in the P4 now goes Kieran.
Net P3.
Yeah, net P3. Well, yeah, I say, yeah, net P3, yeah.
Oh, now it's penalty, yeah. So Kieran is back in prime position. It's not going to be the first time that I say those words, I have to say. It's going to be nail-biting at the moment. I think Marco's in a great position to win this race. I think he does. I think, imagine if Marco didn't disconnect. Honestly, if Marco didn't my words. If Marco didn't disconnect last week, I think he would have probably won the title today, and that's probably going to pretty much get absolutely annoying that he could have won the title. But don't blame him, of course. Blame the annoying servers that costed him a little bit. Kieran is out of DRS to Arnold, which is not ideal whatsoever here, as Colin is still winning DRS again. Colin's going to put up a good fight. He has got some good pace on those hard tyres. Same with Nick. I'm surprised Alex has not closed in either, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. This is going to be a nail-biting second half of this race, and I'm all for it. We're almost at the 50% mark. Who's going to win this race? I don't know. Who's going to win this title? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Well, right now, obviously, I think J. Cole's tyres, they are giving him some marginal improvement over the hards in front, but it's not much anymore. I think
He's
his
gained 2
tyres now
temps.
kind of...
He lost 2 temps, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I think his tyres are starting to just drop away now a little bit.
So I was a bit... Yeah, I thought it was good to begin with, but looking in hindsight, those softs wear pretty quickly. I was doing practice on Friday, and the softs just... Yes, they were good grit-wise, but you were just losing like a second or two after 4 laps. It was just not worth going on the soft tyres. So maybe J. Cole thought it was good in practice, so he did it here. I don't know. We saw that last week. We're going to have to wait and see. And this is going to make this fight even more interesting. Pretty much a lot of this field is within DRS at the moment. Arnaud's got to get the job done now. He knows J. Cole's tyres are struggling, and look at that, Mike. That was textbook. Comfortable, and he's going to now chase down Marco for the race win on track.
Yeah, for J. Cole now, he needs to hope that he can somewhat stick with Arnold here. Maybe stretch the tyres out just an extra lap or 2, then chuck on a set of the hards and go all the way to the end.
Yep, and we're seeing penalties being given left, right and centre. And as a reminder of our championship permutations, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Mills, our championship leader, is not here tonight. The gap between Ben Mills and Kieran, who's currently sitting in P4 at the moment, is 13 points. If Kieran finishes on the podium, he would win the championship. I believe it will be by a singular point, which is nothing. But Kieran has got to just calm his nerves and concentrate for the rest of this race. He's almost within DRS of J. Cole. He's got to play the patient game. He knows he'll probably get past eventually, but we know J. Cole is also fighting for the constructors as well. Kieran's within DRS of J. Cole. You could let's go on board with J. Cole actually. His tyres, yes, he's catching up to Arnaud just a tad, but we know that Kieran's is a lot better in terms of tyre management at the moment. I think J. Cole's going to find it a tough task. J. Cole's got to stay within DRS of Arnaud in order to stand a chance against Kieran. Otherwise, he's toast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the game plan for J. Cole, is stay within DRS. If he does get borderline by the end of this lap, I can see J. Cole coming in and putting on a set of the hards going to the end.
Yeah, I think J. Cole's hard tyres will probably be the best option for him. I think I would pit now. I would pit now and go onto the hard tyres. They will comfortably get to the end. Because if you stay out a little bit longer, that's really going to compromise your race in the long run, potentially. And I wonder, Mike, if quite a few drivers have gone for 2 sets of the hard compounded tyres. I wonder if some people have done that, or are some people going to stretch out to lap 24 or even 22 for a set of the medium compounded tyres. Everyone has done at least 1 stop, and as a reminder, the drivers will have to complete at least 2 stops in one half racing. If they don't, they'll get disqualified. We're approaching the second half of this race, and it'll be Marco that leads from Arnaud, and crucially, Arnaud is almost within DRS of Marco. Arnaud has got to burn the battery like his life depends on it in order to stay within DRS range, but he's not at the moment, which is letting J. Cole stay within it. This is really, really intense as Casper is in from those set of the soft tyres. He was not doing too bad, to be fair, but he's going to go on to set up the hard tyres as Waitsy picks up a penalty. Not the way he wanted his end of the season to go. I won't be surprised if he ends up in a lower tier next season, and that will probably suit him a lot more as Casper, yes, goes on to a set of the hard tyres. Maybe he's going to give some guinea pig lessons to Kieran and saying, right, do this, do that, and give him some data to Kieran potentially and play the team game.
Potentially, but right now, obviously, we see Casper. He was at the end of this train for P2, which is now turned into the train for the race lead. But he was at the tail end of it, and he's come into the pits, and he's come out just behind Lukey. So
that's not good.
J. Cole, he kind of has to respond now, and he's out of DRS, so he has to go now.
Here comes Kit. He has to come in. J. Cole has got to come in. But he is. Okay, but the advantage Kieran is going to have the DRS, so that's going to help him down the straight, and he's within 1/10 of Arnaud now. So J. Cole understandably goes in, and it's going to be interesting now to see if Kieran could stretch those hard tyres for about 3 or 4 laps. So J. Cole's going to go and set the hards now. Chris has got a 10-second penalty, which is not going to help him in the slightest. 2 of the Ferraris are going wheel-to-wheel battles as Nick gets past Colin into P4. At the moment, Yes, quite a few people have pitted. Nick is on for a top 4 finish right now, and I'm not even kidding. On his final race before the birth of his baby boy, Nick was on for a top 4 finish.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, I hope Nick can pull out a potential podium here to end the season off. I mean, as I said, my heart wants Nick to do well here tonight. J. Cole has come out in fresh air. He's come out in fresh air.
Yep, he has. 5 seconds behind, 3 seconds. No, 3 seconds behind, 5 seconds ahead. Or other way around. I don't care. I don't care. You can tell it's been a long season. But will we start to see some drivers come in? Marco, understandably, comes in. He took it way cautious into the pit lane, and sometimes that's what you had to do. You want to do that, and that will save yourself 10 seconds. Yes, you'll lose 2 seconds in the long run. You would rather do that than lose 10 seconds.
Ooh. 15 laps on a set of mediums. That could be interesting coming into the race.
Now that is interesting. Alex and Colin are having a ding-dong now. Alex around the outside. Alex has found some pace here on 2-lap pressure tyres and gets past Colin R. Mason for P4 on the road.
Yeah, let's not forget, Alex and Callum had a torrid time at the start of this race, and they are closing onto the back of this train now, which puts them in prime position to really scrap it out with the likes of Colin, Nick and Kieran, as well as Marco and J. Cole and Casper.
Yeah, they got the fresher rubber as well, which is helping them, and they could stretch it out to the medium stint. And the medium stint, yes, you would struggle in the first part of it, in the first half of the race, but at the end of the race, I did a medium stint, and I didn't lose any grip at all. I was literally consistent lap after lap after lap. So the mediums are going to feel a lot better towards the end of the race with little to no fuel on board the car. So I think that's what some of these guys are going to try and do. Alex round the outside of Nick gets past him up into P3, and Alex could be in the cork of the bottle that Kieran does not need at this moment in time. Kieran's within DRS of Arnold. I think Arnold and Kieran, Marco's not their fight. I think Marco's got this race win in the bag unless Marco medium start to die. Arnold and Kieran have got to look at the gap between them and J. Cole. That's going to be the crucial thing here. Kieran has got to think about when to pit now, because if he pits at the wrong moment, that could be championship over.
Yeah, Kieran right now is biggest threat to the championship. Is that man in right behind him right now in Alex, because Alex is closing in this middle sector, but the saving grace that Kieran has is that he has DRS on Arnold, so he's going to pull away on the streets.
Oh, that was a slide from Alex coming towards the penultimate corner. I wonder if that's given Nick a bit more time. No, Nick's lost time. So maybe Alex gained a bit of time now. I was breathing down my neck at the moment as Nick's in. Nick comes in. That's a bit early for a set of the mediums.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because obviously we saw in P2, obviously you made your mediums last towards the end, but I believe you made your pit stop.
I think it was end of, I lasted 10 laps.
Yeah, and you got some good pace.
He's retiring the pits, so no safety car.
As Callum and Arm gets through on Colin R. Mason to see the Delago, a very good overtake down the inside. The battle of the Welshmen here in P1.
Yes.
As Callum gets to move down on Colin.
Colin has good pace, so does Callum. So this could be interesting towards the end of the race, actually, as well. That could be interesting. And yeah, my end stint was absolutely lightning. But we know Nick's good on his tyres on the mediums, better than me. So I will not be surprised to see Nick challenge for the podium if he keeps his pace up for the majority of the race. He's better than tyre management than me, so I think he could potentially do it. Kieran comes into the pit, so does Arnold. Please don't speed, you two. They don't. Thank goodness. They do not speed in the pit lane. You do not want your championship to be... What's happened?
I just went on board with Colin. Rear lock-up under braking coming into the pit lane, and he was sideways coming in.
Oh my God, that was close. He also goes on to the mediums. Marco's setting the fastest lap of the race, and I think Marco's going to be comfortably ahead by quite some margin. We know how the undercut is quite powerful around here. J. Cole in there as well. This is going to be interesting here. What's happened to Arnold?
10-second time penalty.
Oh yeah, Arnold 10 second. My brain. So, yeah, RNL serving is 10 seconds. So your order at the moment is Marco from J. Cole, from Kieran, and cruising for the constructors, Casper Klein.
Yeah, and Casper now is in a fantastic position to help his teammate out, because at this moment in the race, Kieran's in position to get the Drivers' Championship. All Casper's got to do is his best to get his elbows out on everyone else behind him and give Kieran that gap.
Yeah, and making sure that none of those drivers get penalties. Callum on comes in. He had to at this point. I'm surprised Alex hasn't done so. I wonder if Alex is going to go onto the soft tyres. So we are going to see people make some moves ASAP as well. No offence to Lukey, unless all the other teams like DNF or something, Williams are not going to win the constructors. It is going to be down to McLaren and Racing Bulls, and at the moment it is going up in Racing Bulls' favour. But look at Nick Egan. He wants to get a top 5 finish here this afternoon, and he definitely wants to outsmart everybody here today. And he's just going to be sitting patient at the moment and not get past Casper yet. He knows he can get past soon. He doesn't have to yet. But Casper has lost a bit of time compared to Nick in towards. Oh, they make a bit of contact, but showing very good respect between these two. Is Nick going to try and go around the outside in towards turn 7 and 8? Nope, he does not. He's going to be patient for now. You can see the gap come down to Alex and Marco up front. What's the point in Alex staying out? Surely he's going to probably go on to soft now. Here he comes then. Oh, Alex. Alex is sped in the pit lane. And the one that could spoil the party for quite a lot of drivers, well, that threat is gone now because Alex is sped in the pit lane. Ben Mills jinxed Alex in the chat as Kieran sets the fastest lap of this race, and he's right on the back of J. Cole.
Yeah, and another thing as well, Jess, I mean, I noticed in the middle sector that Nick got held up by over a second. Colin closed up by a second on his teammate because Casper was backing up the pack.
And that was smart from Casper, and he's going to try and get past Nick again, but he doesn't do so. Casper's definitely playing the team game at the moment, and the rules in at One Hub Racing, you are allowed to do that to help your teammate, but you can't do that to basically anything else. If you slow down, like say if you were like an esports driver, like say if you were ERT, you can't help another ERT driver, for example, if you are not in the same constructor. You could pretty much help people up if you're in the same constructor, but if you slow down intentionally, and if you're not in the same constructor, that could be in a bit of trouble, like we saw in Mexico last season with Arnold, and I'm trying to remember who else, but yeah, we can't afford that to happen at the moment. The gap's now 3 seconds. Here's Kieran. He gets into second place. Lap 27 of 36. Are we getting to the point here? Will Kieran play it safe at this point, or will he go full guns blazing for the race? When I spoke to him, and he said towards the end of the race, if he's in a championship position, he would play it safe.
Yeah, he kind of has to. The only thing that could really undo Kieran is if he makes a mistake on his own power, or if he gets
around the outside. Oh, he's got a penalty, but they're going to give it their all anyway. Callum's through on Nick. Oh, sorry, Mike. Carry on. Continue.
I mean, what I was going to say, obviously, for Kieran, obviously, the only way he could really hinder himself now is if he starts making mistakes himself. But the one thing he can't do is allow J. Cole to get ahead of him and maybe try and back him up, because J. Cole will try and do that for the constructors.
Yeah, they will. I think Callum and Casper are going to be playing team games for their teammates right now. That's what they're going to do. J. Cole and Kieran, they're focused on where they are at the moment. But look at the gap that Kieran's closing up to. And we got a yellow flag. That is one of the Red Bulls. That is Waitsy, I believe. Or it might have been Collie, one of the two. And, well, Alex picked up another penalty. That's going to help Callum quite considerably. He's going to be in a net P4. This could be interesting in terms of the constructors.
Potentially, it could be very intriguing coming into the race, but that 3 second time penalty that Callum's got is hovering over his head, but he has got that gap out now to 1.1.
Oh, this is interesting. So as it stands, I think Nick will jump up to 4th place and Colin into 5th. That'll be their best, well, that'll be Nick's best result of the season. Watch out for Nick. He's managing those tyres really well, is Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. His tyres are a couple of laps older, so you would expect them to not have the same kind of pace as the cars in front, but this is Nick we're on about by you, Mr. Tyre Whisperer himself.
Mr. Alex
He is caressing those tyres to those corners.
He definitely is at the moment, and we know that this could, I think, go into his favour. And Jaco is going to hope that Kieran's medium tyres start to die quicker than his hard tyres. Alex has caught up to the back of this. Kieran can't afford to nap here and can't afford to make mistakes. Colin does get past Nick. Once again, they're going to be switching positions and DRSing each other at the moment. But we have got not long to go until the end of this race. Let us know, can Kieran do it? Could Kieran finish 2nd or 3rd to win the title, or will it go the way of the Williams driver who's not even here but is in the chat? We don't know. Answer on a postcard. I can watch this, but I can't breathe at the moment because this could get intense. None of these drivers can afford to make any mistakes right now. Kieran could be in a shot to win this race, but he can't afford to make too aggressive mistakes because that could cost him the championship. Here goes Kieran. He's going to get in towards T1. This is where he wants to be right now, within DRS, and he could afford to save it. He can only go for the move if he can start to see Marco struggling. If Marco's not struggling, play it safe. And this is his opportunity now. Kieran's got the straight line speed. Through he goes, it is crucial. Round the outside in towards turn 4, and he's in the lead.
Yeah, very, very
smart,
important overtake right there for Kieran because he has the tyre advantage on Marco and he could try and get away in this middle sector. And if Kieran does get away from Marco in this middle sector, I think it's all in Kieran's hands.
Yeah, and because he now has clear air, he could afford just to play it easy for a little bit. Because we saw in the practice session he made a lot of mistakes because he was overdriving. But we've seen many drivers try to put the pressure on him before the race, and maybe that's helped him a little bit. Just show off a little bit. I don't know. Anything can happen here. We still think that the title, I think, will go to McLaren in the constructors, but Mike will be doing some maths at the end of it. But here comes Alex, who's looking very rapid right now on those mediums. Round the outside, they can't afford to make contact. Slight bit of contact, that's going to cost him time. That's going to allow Jaco give him a chance. But Marco is in P3 right now and could be a very interesting, this could be a very interesting scenario here. And let me just check penalties for you to see if, oh yeah, Alex has got 10 seconds plus 3. So yeah, Alex is going to drop way down unless he can get it removed. Nick gets past Colin Mason. Oh my goodness, those two Ferraris are going guns a-blazing. It's Nick's final race before he becomes a father, and he's giving his teammate a run for his money. I love this.
Yeah, and crucially, that little battle between the two Ferraris has put the gap to 3 seconds to Callum and Arms, who has a 3-second time penalty. So as it currently stands, Callum is going to finish in P5 with his teammate currently
which will be enough, I think, for the constructors. I think.
I will do some maths. I will do some maths.
Thank you. You will do some maths because I can't look at my screen right now because otherwise it will like slow down a little bit. But we got Alex. Kieran's doing the right thing at the moment. He's playing it safe. He can afford to let Alex through because he's got that 3-second time penalty at least. So he can afford to do that. As long as he can stay within Alex's DRS, he's absolutely fine. He can afford to save some battery as well. Arnaud gets past Casper in towards T1. What could have been for Arnaud? He could be in this battle if he didn't get that 10-second penalty, which is absolutely heartbreaking for him. Nick, on the other hand, passes Colin. I love it. These two Ferraris. This is insane. They can't afford to squabble too much because I think that their chance of getting P5 is pretty much, no, P4, sorry, is pretty much long gone.
Well, I can tell you right now, Jess, at this moment in time, the McLarens are not doing enough. I believe RB are still going to be outscoring them as
By
a
how
unit
much?
here tonight. Well, right now Kieran's in the net race win, picking up 20 points, and a P3 and P5 for J. Cole and
Won't be
Callum.
enough.
Net right now would be 24 points, and obviously Casper down in P9. He's picking up 4 points, so they are level, but I believe Kieran's also got the fastest lap.
Yes, as Kieran get past Marco. I think Kieran is absolutely loving this at the moment. As I think if I was Ben, I would be very nervous. If I was Kieran, I'll be very nervous. But I don't think Kieran should be nervous right now. He could just, as long as he's hoping that J-Car and Marco fight for positions behind him, he can play it safe for them. I think Marco's tide is dead. I think Kieran is fine. He doesn't need to worry a thing. All he's got to worry about is J-Cole at the moment. But even J-Cole's starting to struggle as well. So Kieran did a good shot for this race win. Meanwhile, Arnold could be in a shot of getting Colin and Nick here. A three-way fight for P6 on the row. Arnold is putting a comeback of dreams here.
Yeah, and that's not rule Arnold out of potentially getting within 3 seconds of Callum and Arnold as well. It's only 3.7 between Nick and Callum.
But Arnold's got to get the job done. Arnold's got to get the job done next lap, really. If he doesn't, that's going to cost him quite a bit here. And it's starting to get a bit overcast at the moment. Well, we see a bit of rain. We have seen in the practice session it was raining, and it was quite funny towards at the end when all the racing happened. We've got 3 laps to go of this race then, and through goes Arnold. Is he going to go and get the job done on Colin R. Mason, the Welshman, the Belgian versus the Welshman, who is made of the right stuff? Is it the waffle, or is it the Welshman who is ginger?
The Welsh cake. The Welsh cake, there we go.
Well, yeah, you can tell I'm having a bit of fun. It's the final race of the season. You know, you got to have a laugh at the end of the day. My race didn't go to plan. You just have a little bit of fun on comms. Why not?
Well, right now, Kieran staying cool, calm and collected. At this stage, the only thing that could beat him right now is himself. And
yeah, his rival is himself right now.
Can he handle the pressure? This has got to be the most nerve-wracking 2 laps of Kieran's life as he comes around to begin lap 35 or 36.
I think a lot of people in One Hub are going to be watching to find out who's going to be crowned the Season 27 champion. Of course, Ben Mills is missing. Kieran has been put in a prime position. We thought he wasn't going to do it after his rubbish qualifying, but he had a really, really fantastic start, and we said in the interview in the pre-race talk show he had to nail that start, which he did to a T at the moment. If he stays where he is, don't fight for the win, mate, on track. Just fight just to keep the car on the road. Let's concentrate on the other drivers. Arnold versus Arnold versus Colin R. Mason. Oh, that was close between the back of Arnold. If I was that close, I would be struggling to get some downforce as Lukey gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Lukey's going to try and go the fastest lap here.
I mean, he's in a great position too. Obviously, he's down in P12.
He was top anyway, so yeah.
Points.
I wonder if Waitie's going to do exactly the same. I would do it.
Waitie would be lapped. Waitie can't be lapped.
Oh. Yeah, I think he will be. Oh, Waitie, no, what are you doing? We're about to start the final lap, and Waitie's not going to do it. Again, that's going to be harsh. But we are going to start the final lap, and we're 1 lap away of potentially crowning a new One Hub Racing champion. We've had 2 new champions this season. Could we have a third? We'll have to wait and see. Kieran, his biggest rival, is himself right now. Alex makes his way towards turn 4 without those mistakes earlier on with the pit lane and track limits. He would have been on course for the win after starting in the back due to his engine penalty. Alex will probably be kicking himself at the moment, but to be honest, he's going to probably drop down to where Arnold is at the moment, I think, if my maths is stand corrected. So, Alex, yeah, you can tell Kieran is playing it safe at the moment. Kieran is definitely playing it safe. He doesn't want to overdo it at the moment. But with just a few more corners to go, Alex has driven amazing. Kieran knew what he had to do as well. He was in a prime position from, I think, about lap 2. but Alex comes across the line. He wins on a track, but your new Season 27 P1 tier champion is Kieran Spears. He has done it by a couple of points. He has won the race, and he has done it in style. Won the race, won the championship. Jaco in second, Marco in third, Cameron on fourth, Nick with his best result of the season, his final race before he becomes a father, just gets P5 by 3/100ths of a second. And Mike, have Racing Bulls done enough to get Constructors champions, yes or no?
Yes, they have.
So, your Constructors champions for Season 27 belong to Racing Bulls. They've done the double. Just like we saw... Actually, no, we didn't see that with... This is the first tier where the Drivers' champion is also the Constructors' champion. No other tier has done that. So Kieran has done that. Kieran must be absolutely relieved. And with that, Season 27 comes to an end. Our champions have been crowned, both in the Drivers and the Constructors. Sad.
Obviously, what could have been with Marco's disconnection last time out? What could have been if Ben Mills was here tonight to contend in terms of the Constructors as well as the Drivers? Honestly, this season has literally been turned on its head since the beginning, because we all had Callum and Ben as two of our favourites going into the season. But with the pair of them having to miss a couple of races, it opened the door for Kieran, Marco, etc. And Kieran was there when it mattered to take advantage of that.
He was the most consistent out of, apart from Marco and Ben, and that's helped him a little bit. J. Cole, if it wasn't from that mistake earlier, could they have been fine for it? I think the race was lost for J. Cole with that first stop. He shouldn't have gone on the softs. His softs was dying very quickly. He didn't like them at all. He should have gone maybe for 2 mediums and a hard, and he could have won this race. But that's allowed Kieran to play it safe towards the end of the race. And Lukey got fastest lap at the end there, so that's helped him a little bit. So your running order for one final time is Kieran from Jacob, Marco, Callum, Nick, Alex, Colin, Arnold, Casper, Chris, Collie, and Lukey. Your final point, Waitsy in third team, and your
Curry.
only DNFer is Curry, I think.
Yep, Curry. Fastest lap inside the top 10 did go the way of Kieran as well, and obviously fastest lap overall was,
oh yeah. But I completely forgot about that. But what a season! Going down to the wire. Kieran had the pressure stacked against him today, but he conquered. He was like, screw this, I'm not gonna let that pressure get to me. I'm gonna concentrate like my life depends on it. And he is going to be a force to be reckoned with next season. But Ben Mills, if Ben Mills was here tonight, he could have been champion. He had a great season as well. In my opinion, the fastest driver in this league. But hats off to Ben too. He's still going to get a trophy at the end of the day, and a well-deserved trophy at that. But yeah, it's just generally been a good season. Standout race, Mike. What do you think your favourite race was this season?
Oh, I think there's been a few. But for me, I did enjoy Singapore.
The race I missed. The race, to be honest, that was a lot of fun to watch as well. I absolutely like that. Out of the ones I covered, I think I liked Monza. I liked Imola as well. That was quite entertaining. And Austin in the rain, that was good as well. But before we end the stream, we got to pick our sim racing setup driver of the day. Mike, for the final time, I'll let you go first. We got a lot to pick from. So who would you like to go for, and what is your question?
Ooh, I think I'm gonna give you the one that you want, obviously. I think my driver of the day is gonna go to J. Cole. And my question to J. Cole would be, obviously, showed fantastic pace throughout qualifying and the race. In hindsight, was jumping on the set of the softs the wrong choice to make for that first pit stop? And how are you going to be looking to be moving forward into next season?
Good shout. Good question. I don't think I would have gone for J. Cole personally. I probably would have gone for someone different if it did go. But
I know you was going to go for. That's why I gave it to you.
yeah, thank you. But it's an obvious answer. I have to go with the champion. I have the champion elect. He didn't have a good qualifying, but Brazil is a track where you can overtake. He had a lightning start. He hardly had any pressure. He was just. He was like a different man, like because in practice he was struggling with so many mistakes. In the race, the mistakes were gone. He was just focused, was patient, didn't want to go for too many aggressive moves, and ultimately that's what helped him win the championship. And my question is, congratulations, champion-elect. Did you think you were going to win the title tonight after a very poor qualifying from yourself? And how difficult was it? No, let me start that bit again. That final bit again. How nervous were the final few laps knowing that there was quite a lot of drivers hunting you down? So that was my question there. And of course, we have racing balls that win the constructors. I would like to say a big thanks to all the drivers in this tier. You put on a great show for myself and Mike in the commentary box, as well as Max, who filled in for me in Singapore. Thank you, of course, to Lukey and Nick for being the tier coordinators for P1. Without them, that we wouldn't be kept on the straight and narrow. Of course, thank you to yourself, Mike, for joining me in the commentary box. We've been reunited, and I had a lot of fun with you because there's been quite a few races. We both had a rubbish race, but P1 races always cheers us both up.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, a massive shout out to the entire grid in P1 this season for driving, and of course, for being as entertaining for us to watch throughout this entire season. Has been an absolute joy.
I've got quite a few other thank yous as well, but I'll save that for the end of season show. But thank you to all the management, the stewards, all the commentators this season. You've been absolutely amazing, and you made this season a success. Keep an eye out for the feedback forms, by the way, guys. Coming out in the next few days, so you can give feedback on the season as a whole, which will help us improve the season 28. And don't forget, we've got the end of season stream where we will reveal all the other awards this season. And that will be on Sunday. Time to be confirmed next Sunday. And we will be reviewing the season as a whole and be telling you why people have been crowned our champion. And of course, confirming it provisionally, who will be getting points deductions as well. But thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next Sunday for the end of season stream. But until now, enjoy the season off. We still got plenty of races still to come before the new year, like the Christmas Cup and all that. So keep an eye on our socials for that. Until then, have a good one. But the man of the evening is your P1 Season 27 champion, Kieran Spears. Take care, everybody. Good night.